This is the conversation series offered by the Allen Law Firm to give citizens, individuals, an opportunity to get some insight as to what happens after you retain. In this case, let's talk about criminal defense. Catherine, questions?
Questions. So yeah, I know that a lot of our clients, one of their first questions is, okay, so we've hired you, now what happens?
The consultation with the client is a critical time. Let's say with a potential new client. That gives our team at the Allen Law Firm an opportunity to assess what the allegations are. In this case would be charges. And determine if we could advance the client's cause within the bounds of the law. That's basically get the client with a not guilty verdict, or get the case dismissed, or get the charges substantially mitigated. And in that regard, there are some basic things that we need to do at the very outset with the client. That's one, we need to see if the client accepts responsibility for what he or she may have done. Then we'll also want to see if there's any corroborating witnesses, where the location was, what was the client's state of mind at the time, if the client agrees that some offense did occur, but maybe the charge it's overcharged. What are the client's most important wants? Dismissal, no jail, low fines, no felony conviction, and so on. These are some of the things that we think about. And I know that the team at the Allen Law Firm will sit and get intimate with the facts as presented by the client, so we can determine if this is a case that we should move forward with, and if we can realistically put the client in a substantially better position than the day that he or she presented him or herself.
So Jamal, you've been an attorney for about 32 years now. You have a lot of wisdom and experience that we're all learning from. What is something that you have consistently seen throughout your 32 years of practice when it comes to personal injury cases?
Thank you, Catherine. I think a commonality that I see among people who present themselves for injury or death cases is that they need custom services. They need to be heard. They need follow-up, they need communications, and they need to know that there's light at the end of the road. And they need to be among people or with a team like the Allen Law Firm that's filled with light and people who resonate positivity. It's something that helps clients consistently see the light at the end of the tunnel and help mentally get the case resolved in another way, not just monetarily, but that they know that their life is going to be okay at the end of the day.
At the Allen Law Firm, as we've discussed before, we really get to know our clients on a very intimate level. So for prospective clients who kind of want to know a little bit about you and how you approach the law and how you approach representing people, how would you talk about your style of representation?
Thank you, Catherine. At the Allen Law Firm, we take a humble approach to representing citizens the right way. And if someone presents themselves to our office with an injury or a wrongful death or a criminal matter, the commonality there is that our potential clients and clients have trusted us with a significant portion of their life. And the philosophy that exudes the Allen Law Firm is that we'll push beyond measure to establish the elements of the case that are necessary to make it happen. Some people may say, we make it 10 toes down, we push hard, we're good, we're not argumentative, we concede when necessary, we listen, we inquire, we hire, we ask serious questions of others, we consult, we make ourselves basically subject matter experts in the limited area of our client's case, and every case is different. That would be a philosophy that I think applies to each of the clients that we seek and that we serve at the Allen Law Firm.
So we've gotten a question. One of our Instagram followers wanted to know if you've ever been in a collision and what that experience was like for you.
I mean, I recall driving down an off ramp, and there was an off ramp, and the traffic had slowed incredibly quickly. I came to not an emergency stop, but a quick stop, and I had my daughter, or one of my daughters, in the rear seat of the truck, and I said, "Brace for collision," and as I looked in my rearview mirror, I could see a car almost sliding sideways, and it smacked into the rear of the truck, causing damage. Thankfully, no personal injuries in our vehicle. The truck damage was minor. The damage to the other vehicle was major. The engine was pushed basically into the passenger compartment. I'm surprised they made it out of that vehicle without injuries. What we did was I moved myself and my daughter to the side of the road, clearly off the road. We exchanged information with the other side. I received their insurance information. I took some photos. I declined medical attention because we didn't need any, and we were able to move along our way. So that's probably just a case in which it's not showing clearly lots of injuries or anything like that, but it just clearly shows you can anticipate what will happen leading up to a collision, and maybe what you can do to protect yourself during the course of it. Catherine, after a criminal defense client is signed, and we promise to do the best we can, what practically are the next steps?
Yeah, so the first thing that we do is we file what's called a notice of appearance with the court. We're basically just letting the court know that now we are the attorney of record and all future correspondence needs to come to us. So this immediately takes some pressure off of the client because they're no longer having to worry about when their court date is. Maybe they didn't get notice from the court. How do I figure out when my court date is? All of that's already taken care of. We let the court know that we're your attorney, and then from then on, we inform you of when your court dates are, and we'll be sending reminders and stuff like that. The next thing that we do is we ask for the discovery information. Discovery information includes a lot of different things like police reports. It could include like your blood results if we're talking about a DUI case. It could include body-worn camera footage from the officers that arrested you. Basically just any information that goes along with your case that informs what happened, when it happened, how it happened. This part of the process takes the longest. A lot of people think that their first court date or their second court date is when everything's going to get resolved. Most of the time, we are having to push back court dates or ask the court to continue court dates because we're waiting for discovery information. We're waiting to receive the blood results. We're waiting to get the body-worn camera footage. Once we get it, we go through all of that from top to bottom. We are looking for defenses anywhere that we can see them, and we're also keeping you apprised of that discovery information, and we also send it to you too because we understand that you may look at that day and those events differently than we do because you were there and we weren't.